Why? Why do they love your story so much?
I don't know. I think you'd have to ask them. But if I had to sort of take the feedback of the audience that I've got, is I think number one, they liked the fact that it was real. They liked the fact that I didn't preach and didn't tell people what to do, and it was more about me just trying to do something. I think they liked the transparency of it all. Like I guess that's the first point, honesty. I guess I'd have to say honesty, being true, is what I think. I think when people, there's an old saying that people are really smart, but crowds are dumb. Okay, I don't know whether it's true or not, but it's an old saying. And when you make films, you're not making them for a crowd. You're making them for a person. It's a personal, individual experience. And I think people have inherently really good bullshit radars. I think people can work out when someone is not telling the truth, when someone's telling a pork pie, as we like to say in Australia, which rhymes with lie.
Porky pie, yeah.
A porky pie. So I think we know this. There's a gut feel we all have. Some of us are more attuned to it than others, but I think people realise that the story that I laid down was real, transparent, true, and I think people appreciated that.
And you have a way of doing it without preaching, and you weren't really selling anything when you made that movie. It was about you, and people do. I mean, that's the thing about these days. You see the reality pieces, and well, not reality shows. That's a bad example. But on YouTube, for example, people gravitate to real, transparent stories, and they can tell them from a mile away when there's some type of a pitch in there. And you didn't have that. And you were doing a documentary back when, I mean, nowadays it's easy to, but in 06, 07, it wasn't a simple thing to get done, was it?
No, it wasn't. Now, there's not a lot of money in wellness, to be honest. There's not a lot of money.
Interesting. I would have thought different.
But there's not a lot of money. There's not a lot of money when people are well.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course.
Okay, when you're well, you don't need to spend a lot of money on trying to go from being broken to being fixed. You're well. So, people say to me now, what are you selling? I mean, I obviously, in order to keep making content, in order to invest and spend money and raise capital from investors to build out a business, you've got to have a plan that shows revenue is going to come in the door. So the way I think about it is that if the content that I can make can be easily accessible, some of it free, some of it, you pay a license to a company like Netflix, which can be $10 or $14 a month, whatever it is, and then you can watch as much as you want, and hopefully you watch mine. That's a way of getting a brand, a name, a message out there. So I'm running with that model, and then if people are interested and want to find out more, they can buy a book, they can go online and they can pick up an app, or they can download something, or they can just go to the website where mostly it's free. So I don't know whether this business model is going to work. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, no, mate, this is the best thing ever. This is the best business I've ever done. Far, far from it. But I think that I'd much rather be doing what I'm doing now in providing all of this information in a fun, interesting, exciting, entertaining, inspirational way, and being of service and making this much money or losing this much money at the moment, versus doing what I used to do, where I was serving no purpose to anyone else. I was basically just making money out of money and making a lot of it. I'm much happier doing what I'm doing now than I was then. And I would never have thought that'd be the case. So that doesn't mean, by the way, that I discount the fact that I can't do incredibly well and be successful in doing what I'm doing. Okay, I don't think of it like that, and I don't have any. I don't feel any guilt or anything attached to if I'm hugely successful over here in making movies and content about wellness, and I can get a huge deal and slate deal done with companies like Amazon or Netflix or iTunes. I've got no problem with that. I've got no problem with being successful. We live in a modern capitalistic world. What I don't want to do is sell something or create something that is not true, that try to make something out of somebody's by trading in their false hopes, giving false hope. I don't want any part of that. I don't want to be a part of that karma. So my message is a very simple message. It's about reconnecting with Mother Nature, okay? Loving your plants and loving yourself. You show me someone who's broken, I'll show you someone who's more than likely got those two relationships are in strife in their body, in their world. So my message is love plants, nurture them, get them into your body, take that information and that nutrition, that energy, get it in. As much of it as you can. Not extreme. If you're broken, yes, you got to go extreme until you're fixed. Then for the tweaking, you just got to have a lot of them. Just got to have most of them. Try and make it half of what you eat if you can. And then love yourself. Stop being your own worst enemy. Life's tough. It's not easy. Try and love yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. Don't focus on the 10 or 20% that's not working. Focus on the 80 or 90 that is. Give yourself this momentum, pats on the back. Don't get out of the shower in the morning and say you're fat and ugly and grey and old. Get out and say, you know what? You're looking good today, Joe. Brian, you're on fire. Bounce around in front of that mirror and tell yourself that you're wonderful, that you're beautiful, that you're amazing, that you're strong. I'm not talking about taking 100 selfies a day. I'm not talking about being arrogant and ignorant. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about truly caring for yourself and getting out of the way and stop being your own worst enemy. Those two bookends, love yourself, love your plants, that's mostly 80, 90% of my message. And you don't need to give me money. You don't need to pay me to do that.